Good morning. Thank you for this very beautiful occasion for me. And I am Cherubino Gambardella. I am an Italian architect. I teach architectural design and urban drawings at the University of Naples named SUN. A project has to listen to questions and doubts. My way of work in answering this question is not to listen to reality, but to follow some footprints, traces, works, photography, movies, romance, and even architecture done by other authors. This is because I am convinced that it is better to work on interpretation rather than on my work as solitary work. I think that every site has a lot of immaterial elements as well as material elements that are integrated into my imaginary museum. Therefore, when I have to do an architecture or a piece of city or a landscape, I don't study too much the site, but I mix first impression with works, lectures, and narrations of others. I battle these fascinating fights with my biography, my memory, and my story. I do not have a perfect story, therefore my architecture is like an imperfect person. It has a democratic beauty. This is a very important point for me. This is a theory that I done 10 years ago. A diffusion of the secondary beauty, a right for a collective revolution for a secondary beauty. So, the secondary beauty is a diffused right to revolution. For example, in the past, beauty was exclusive only for a few people, either very rich or very lucky. Now, with little money, a person can use a small car with the optional of a Rolls Royce. This is what I call democratic revolution, because in that way people have the right not only for a utility car like the whole Trabant of Dead Hair, but also to a secondary dream. So today I will show you a project that demonstrates how this practice is absolutely possible in architecture. Before I used, like you can see, a lot of collage that I consider as accumulation of all simple elements of architecture. Before then, I merged them with suggestion of others. And this is when I come up with a very complex drawing that I do not use directly for architecture. Instead, it is my secret depot. The place where I take elements when I have an occasion to do an architecture. It's like a private book of drawings and of ideas that I use. It's not perfect because I don't like perfection. And this is a sweet and hard practice in the same time. In this case, we are, now I want to go to show you these other drawings quickly, so you can see. This is a very important drawing because it explains the relationship between me and my city, and Naples. Naples is a very strange city. It's based on a yellow rock and on the sea, on these very complex relationship between solid and liquid parts. And this drawing demonstrates how is it possible to do a very democratic and very revolutionary architecture with basic elements in my city. This is another absolute protagonist of my research, that is the skeleton. The skeleton is as a bad nomination, but is a very interesting element from domino scheme of Le Corbusier to the popular use of the skeleton in today popular architecture, self-built architecture. This is to Aldo Rossi, a noble collage, and this is for Le Corbusier. This is for Paolo Sorrentino. This is Procida. This is for Ferzan Ospetek. And this is important for my project that I will show you next in next pictures, because you can see how the element of common architecture, not function, because I treat function, structure, ecology, like elements common. They are elements of the project, natural elements of the project. The center of the problem is how to do a beautiful thing today, how to do a new kind of architecture. Because international architecture is already similar. I don't understand why in this crisis moment there is a so terrible architecture in circulation. Ora, now, we are in the dark side of Naples. The outskirts, in the north, are the parts of the city that are completely far from the harbor, from Capri, from the pines, and the lights of the Vesuvius. This is the famous site of Secondigliano Piscinola. It's not very famous, but I think that is very famous for me. Where was filmed the movie named Gomorra by Matteo Garrone, and taken also from the book of Roberto Saviano. This is a site of high criminality, marginalization, and gypsy camps, which reflects a portrait of a Naples with real hope. When I won the international competition of Naples municipality in 2002, the theme was interesting. Our office was nominated for the project of a substitution of 450 dwelling, temporary and popular, which were realized after the 1980 earthquake. So our project was growing up in front of the temporary habitations. These are sections, blue square elements. And this is important because this is the place, the main place of this project, of this work. I work on a suspended wall of, with depth of 2 meters. In this space, inhabitants can do all they want. So it's only an hardware. They can do their software. They can complete as they want this space that so is like an inanimated space. Public space is totally generic space. So they can use to play football and to put into a car for a died person. And it's very simple. These are photos of Francesco Iodice, that is a very interesting Italian artist. Here is in the phase of the in the last phase of the cantier. When the new house was being finished, people transferred to the new court and in the random unit that we see after of habitations. And as soon as we finish the first 126 dwellings, the people responsible for the rights of transferring to new architecture completed the process. In same night, 27 unofficial families occupied the old block. And to this day, there is a strong political negotiation in course, so perhaps the next month or so, it will be possible to complete the other dwellings. The new complex is based on a very simple idea. I mixed without style common elements. And now I want to show you the other picture because I have only 5 minutes, so it's important to finish the show. And so you can see some detail of the suspended facade. This is the rear part that looks at the country, look as a very beautiful landscape. And this is the old building that was impossible to demolish because it was occupied in the night after the complete of the new building. And now you can see the incredible situation is very, very strong. It's terrible to say, but I like very much this image. This is the second unit that is based on very simple system. I put one house on the other with the different elements and surface that I have to realize, to complete the program. So it's all on a simple one level because it's very important for all the person, for old age person to have a simple house. And the image is not like Borneo and VRDV that they put one on the other, but it's completely a mixed facade, like the drawing that you see before. That you've seen before. This is the final image of this incredible block because it's totally open. And is based on void and full. And they can use in a completely different manner. A lot of criminal person lives in this building, but they have an incredible respect of this building. There are only criminal families. This is a very incredible place. And these criminal families changed with an incredible respect, using tents, white and blue, very chic, very sophisticated action. It's a criminal sophistication. I have no sense of guilt. This is this is the image of the building totally modified. Adesso, very quickly, 2 images, skeleton, now. Skeleton, now. Skeleton, popular housing, new popular housing, ok. Non mi fate domande difficili.
Okay, so